Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Part 2 of our BMW X5 rebuild. Alrighty everybody, we're back. If you have not yet, hit that subscribe button below, like, comment, share, you know the drill. Yeah, we're back with our 2015 BMW X5. We're gonna start going through the whole cleaning process because it's a mess if you saw the first segment. If not, go back and find it. Little update, we do have parts in order for our suspension. We've got our control arms, those have actually arrived. I am waiting on the bracket for the strut. I found that was broken. And then I also have a boot for the CV axle on order as well. The CV joint, the CV axle itself looks to be good. I have not dug in there and inspected too much yet, but everything spins freely and does not bind. So I'm going to take that as a good sign that the only thing was damaged was the boot getting ripped off. So that's a good place to start. I've gone ahead and left my battery conditioner on both the batteries in here. Yes, both the batteries. So I don't know when those were replaced. If they have been, 7 years old. Hopefully they've been replaced once. I'll have to go back and look at the Carfax again. But we're gonna go through and do the whole cleaning on this thing in this segment. Zip through a lot of it, but again, you saw in the first episode, it's just really dirty in here. And some areas the camera washes it out, and some areas it looks worse than it is. But everything back here is just super dusty. You can see, I can't really see in the shadow, but the headrest is all dusty. These side panels are all dusty. Down here, there's crusties and crunchies. Battery tray, battery compartment, it looks pretty good. I don't see any evidence of anything ever being screwed with or tampered down here, so that's a positive other than me flipping these things up to charge them up. We've got our big power distribution deal here for all of our electrical needs. And let me show you real quick, the passenger side, I started doing some cleaning too. Floors, dashboard, vents, kind of see here's that's what that looks like. Then if you look in the driver's side, well, you can see here, you got this cleaned up really well. And then if you go over here by the driver's side, how disgusting that looks. So the seat, definitely clean in here, dirty and icky over there. So what I am gonna do is take these front seats out because there's stuff under them, there's dog hair under them, and I wanna start with a clean slate. So that means I need to take the batteries or disconnect the batteries because the amount of sensors, especially with the seats, the restraints, the memories, the modules, all the stuff in there has a possibility to throw up a ton of codes when I put the seats back in. Anything from simple seat memory malfunctions or airbag and restraint issues. So the best case for here, the best process is just to disconnect the batteries to the car. Nothing's got power, so when I put everything back together, connect the batteries, the car doesn't sense anything different. Did go ahead and change the battery and the remote. Everything works well now. The door actually locks and opens. The lights come on when you open the doors. I've been able to run through the car a little bit and the iDrive system. We've got a map update to do. I was able to start importing some music to it because that's, of course, the most important thing. When you've got this Harman Kardon system, it's pretty nice. But not having much fuel in the tank, I couldn't really start the car and fiddle through all the accessories and options. So once we actually get this rim in and get our new tires, we can actually put it down on the ground, back it out of the garage, and let her run, drive it around a little bit, and just kind of play with all the buttons because there's a lot of buttons in here. Not many more buttons than my X3, but there's a lot more functions behind the buttons. So anyways, we're gonna drop into a time lapse here, zip through getting the passenger side done. I wanna get that done first, and then I will show you the driver's side, do a side-by-side comparison of how disgusting it is right now to what it's going to be when it's all done. Again, you can take your car somewhere $300–400 to have it detailed, and they're probably not going to take the seats out. I'm certain they'll do a really good job, but do you want to spend that $300–400? You may not have it. I mean, I'm buying tires and rims and fenders and stuff, so I don't really have a big allotment in the budget for prettying things up by somebody else. So that's why I'm doing it myself. Plus I have a lot of the equipment to do it, whether it's buffers, cleaners, compounds, polishes, waxes, creams, you name it. I've got the whole line of products from Ammo NYC. Not sponsored, but great products. I've also got some basic stuff like Simple Green, or not Simple Green, Purple Power, Super Clean, a lot of their products for cleaning, and I'll be using their stuff in the engine bay to get that cleaned up, looking like new, but I figure I've got time before all of my parts come in, so I'm gonna make the best use that I can and get everything cleaned up. So when it's ready to go for a drive, it's ready to go for a drive. Alrighty, well, I've run through the trunk, I've run through the passenger side and the back seat, front seat, took out the seat actually, it's sitting right here next to me. And I've gone through and cleaned up the carpeting with the shop vac for the most part, and I had not realized that I've got some precious little toys under the front seats. Yes, subwoofers. Heck yeah. Anyways, as you see, we've got the seat out, we've got all the stuff vacuumed up. There's still quite a bit of dog hair in here, which the shop vac is, of course, having a challenge picking up. I'm gonna go ahead and grab our steam cleaner, little carpet cleaner, the Bissell Spot Cleaner, and run through all the carpeting here on the passenger side, in the cargo area back there, and then I'm gonna pull out the front seat over here, and I haven't touched anything here you can see yet. If I can move my light over there. You can see the front seat is still disgusting. I have no clue what is between the seat and the thigh rest here. I no clue what that is. There's a whole pile of it down by the accelerator pedal too. Just a giant mess. We've got our shifter area here, our little buttons over here for our suspension. That's disgusting versus our passenger side, which I've gone through. I took out the ashtray, took out the cup holder bases. I pulled the parts out of the door here, and look at how nice this door is turning out. And this side of the dash. So again, we've kind of got before and after. And once we get the seat out, I'll go in through the back of the car and kind of show you a before and after so you can see. But it is really cleaning up here, and I kind of call this the dad treatment, the Doc's Auto Detail, and well, I'm also a dad, so it fits well. But for now, I'm gonna go ahead and grab that carpet cleaner, come back, steam clean everything here on this side, and then we'll move forward over to the driver's side. And I want to get everything inside cleaned up before I put the seats back in. Go ahead and get everything on the console here. Try and fix the rear climate control buttons, and just get everything as clean as I can before I put it back together, so that I'm not trying to deal with crevices between the seats and the center console, for example. And just get it as good as I can for now. I know I'm going through with Armor All for kind of shining things up a little bit. I don't like to use petroleum-based stuff, as I said before, if I can help it, but this is just so dirty and neglected and dried out that I need to start with something a little more aggressive, and then I'll finish off with my better products to kind of moisturize it and seal it in. So for now, that's where we're at. Alrighty, so we've gone through and completely cleaned up the cargo area in the back, as well as gone through the passenger side. Kind of give you a before and after. You kind of saw what of course I locked the back and the battery is now disconnected. So I'll have to show you that later. But the passenger side, I've run through with the carpet cleaner and hit the seats first round. You can see it looks a whole lot better over here. Oh, let's see. There's that. Looks a whole lot better over here on the passenger side than on the driver's side. So we're going to go ahead and make this side look like this side. Make this side look like this side. Still got some cleaning to do in the back here. Passenger seat here, I ran one kind of light scrubbing over. I'm going to go ahead, do the whole back seats again, hit it with the protectant. Door jams here, down here, the little kick guards, whatever you want to call them. Those are cleaning up nicely. Consoles, I've still got to do that. I showed you before the difference between the passenger side and the driver's side with just a little bit of cleaning. So, and again, the rest of the dash is pretty dirty over on the driver's side. Door, you can see, is pretty disgusting as well. And let me grab this quick. Oh wait, it's charging. I'll show you the back shortly here. But the one thing I want to show you, which cleaned up really nice, is the passenger front seat. Again, we're not in the right light, but here's the passenger seat, and you can see how clean it is, nice and clean now. And here's the driver's side. I'm going to bring the driver's side up over here on the side, and you can see just how dirty that seat is compared. So pretty much I took my drill with the brush on it, the toothbrush, some 409, and then some of the protectant, and it looks pretty good. So again, here's the passenger side over here on the left, and the driver's side over here on the right. So we're going to go ahead and clean up the driver's side, and hopefully it comes out as nice as the passenger side. So looking at the driver's side here, I still don't know what these piles of brown stuff are. The seat itself is a little cleaner than the passenger seat was, but this area here, I don't know, did he fart and it dried and crystallized, or it's the same stuff down here on the floor. I mean, I don't know what this stuff is. Was he rolling his own and dropped it, or I honestly haven't a clue what any of these little brown shavings are. But again, under the seat is just as disgusting. There's trash. So we're just going to get the shop vac and start sucking all this up and make it nice and clean. You can see the dashboard also. Bring my light over. The dashboard is pretty disgusting as well. We've got just film. Our heads-up display was pretty gross. I already cleaned that out. But again, we've got just scuzz over here. We can just clean it up pretty easily. There's like a yogurt stain in here, I think. There it is. Yeah, it's a big yogurt stain. Hope that's yogurt. The shifter, I already cleaned off the shift knob, but it looked like the rest of the console here, just pretty horrible. The tray for the cup holders, I cleaned off the passenger side. Buttons here, just disgusting. So yeah, we're just gonna work through this. I'm gonna spare you the time lapse because, well, you saw one side, you don't need to see both. We'll come back when the inside is all cleaned up and put back together. I'll show you how that turned out in the cargo area. And then maybe we'll just do a quick wash on the outside here, get that all cleaned up. Maybe we'll just leave it, move on to something else. We've got parts on the way. Like I said, I've got 2 of the 3 front suspension components. The new wheel should be in 2 days, so that's going to be a bonus. Once that's in for sure, I'll go ahead and order our new tires for this. And that's just going to leave me with waiting on a bunch of the parts, the headlight, the front camera. The headlight was more than I wanted to pay. Wasn't as bad as it could have been, but it was more expensive than the first one I found. The camera I picked up for about $350. I don't know what it would have been new. I would have liked to have not had to pay anything for it. So to whoever took the camera off the car at the COPART lot, you're mean. You're just a big jerk. Yep. That's all I've got to say about that. Alrighty, we've got the driver's side cleaned out, the doors, the seats. Oh, I've still actually got to do the driver's seat itself, but that's okay. We've got the floors, the back seat, the door cards done, all cleaned up now. Gotten rid of all the mud and crap from here. I still have to do the console because I stupidly worked from the outside in and now I've got wet carpets. So we're gonna let these carpets dry overnight. But you can see we got the seats really cleaned up. Those look pretty good. I'm sure they'll take a few more coats of protector, moisturizer, whatnot, just to help get this knockoff leather back to where it should be. But the floor is really cleaned up. You can see the driver's side really cleaned up. And I think all the stuff that was on the floor was some sort of Grizzly tobacco product, because I saw a wrapper for something Grizzly wintergreen under the seat when I took it out. So I'm guessing it was some sort of smokeless tobacco product, chew, whatever you want to call it. Not my deal, know nothing about it, but it's no longer in the car, so there we go. I guess I'd rather have a few little bits of that to pick up than cigarette butts and have the whole car smell like butt. So, like I said, we're gonna let the seats dry, or let the carpet dry overnight. I'm gonna finish cleaning up the driver's seat, get that all conditioned up, excuse me. And we're gonna come back in, well, tomorrow for me, about 30 seconds for you. Wow. All right, so we're gonna come back. It'll be tomorrow for me, but for you about 30 seconds from now, and get the seats back in, and then go to work on getting the console cleaned up and the rest of the dash. And then I've got to get back in the back because I stupidly closed the rear gate and the battery's dead, so I can't open it. So I've got to crawl through the back seats to hook up the battery. Yeah, I really thought that one through, didn't I? Alrighty, well, let me show you this quick here. We have the front seats back in. Excuse the grocery bag on the floor, but I don't have my floor mats in yet. And these seats look far better, wow, than they did originally. The door card here was full of smudges and dirt, everything in here just grimy and greasy. That looks excellent now. Seats here, all the buttons are cleaned up. Still got this little damage right here addressed with the seat, but I'll do that right at the end here, or when I'm not going to be sitting in the car for a day and whatever I put on here has a day to kind of dry and set up. What I want to do quick is tackle the rest of the dash on the driver's side here, and you can see it's kind of gross. You've got Kind of see where I started cleaning up to where I haven't touched, especially that. So we're just going to go ahead and try and knock the rest of this inside out here pretty quick. And that's going to wrap this one up, I think. Maybe we'll look at cleaning the engine. We'll see where we're at for time. But most important, the inside is getting clean again, so that is good. And I've been doing a bunch of scouring for parts, and I think I have everything ordered we need except the front bumper. When I was looking last week when we were going to go bid on the car, they were, a couple $100, between $200 and $400, depending if you got a used one or an OE one, takeoff or a off-brand. Now there's none available except the one I found on the eBays for $900. And I don't know that I want to pay $900 for bumper, but I may have to because this one is not usable. All right, and there we are. Take a look at the inside now. I mean, it's not quite perfect yet. I've got to run over the dashboard with some protectant, probably some Armor All for right now. And then I've got some of the ammo e-cleaner for all the screens in here and the glass inside as well. And then that's probably going to wrap it up for us. But you can tell that steering wheel is so much nicer now. I can actually stand to touch it. Our dash cluster here is much cleaner. All the spots and spittles are off the gauge cluster. The vents aren't disgusting anymore. I've still got the cabin filters to go over, but by and large, I mean, the interior has gone 180 degrees from where it was when we started this video. Let's just take a quick peek under the hood here of what my plan is. Well, yeah, it's dirty. I'm thinking what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do this off camera because, well, nothing terribly exciting here. So what I'm going to do is basically I found a bunch of leaves down under here. I'm going to suck those out. Not quite sure where those came in. This panel should be okay, but I believe I've got my air cleaners, air filters for the cabin down here. Then the recirculation one is actually in the cab. I have the engine air filter over here. And of course, our beauty cover is dirty and our little bit of critter nest to get rid of there. But really, I'm just going to take my my Tornado sprayer hooked up to the air compressor and clean this off from the top side here. I'm not gonna get down underneath. I've got to get this lower belly pan off to replace, take out the control arm. So if I get down there and it looks like it needs to be tended to, I'll deal with it then. But I'm gonna go ahead and just put a little bit of glue on this crack here. I don't need to replace this whole core thing here for just this little piece. Not worth it to me. At the end of the day, our grills are intact. All of our accessories in the grill, the moldings, the fog lights, the windshield washers, those are all intact, which is excellent because those get expensive. I've had to buy a bunch of other stuff that I hadn't planned on, but that's just how it goes. So we'll come back when we kick off the next video here. We'll kick it off with just showing the before and after of the engine bay. And then we're gonna move on to deconstruction of this front passenger corner because I should have the rest of my parts coming in tomorrow. My strut bracket, my boot for the U-joint, and my front and rear control arm are already here. I have found another fender, so that's good because this one's missing pieces. Luckily, I have this inner trim piece here. It looks like it's intact, so that's good. Wheel liner, still not sure. But otherwise, yeah, we got lucky here with just this front corner of the bumper getting damaged. Nothing else really is bent out of shape. This bracket where the headlight mounts onto, I think got tweaked back just a little bit. So I'm gonna probably take the other headlight out, look at it, take some measurements. But if anything, I think it just gets pulled back this way just a hair. And I can probably almost do it by hand. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and look at that and get that where it should be. 4 bolts and this thing should come off. So we'll take a look at that. Otherwise, just limited to this corner here. Missed all of our ABS stuff, missed the air conditioning stuff, missed our DEF reservoirs, missed our horns, missed our, I believe that's the airbag sensor, so missed that. I don't know how, but it did. So I'm happy about that. All of our wiring is intact. Again, we just have a couple of sensors for the park distance. That one and that one need to be soldered back together. That'll be a pretty quick thing to do. So for now, I'm gonna leave you. Thanks for watching this one. You know, if you're into detailing, cleaning, probably a better video for you than wrenching. But the next video we've got coming up is gonna be going through all the mechanicals, getting that done. And then hopefully it's gonna be just fit and paint for the parts that need to be painted. Like I said, a little bit of correction to do up here on the hood, and then paint and blend that area. I'll see how much I end up doing for that. But yeah, so until the next video, thanks for watching, and we'll see you all real soon. Bye-bye.